Captain, I just want to make it clear once and for all, in case you didn't know, the devil's in the details. And idle hands at the devil's workshop. So make of that what you will.
This is Clementine, and the devil's in the details.
What up, it's Bam Margera, giving a shout out to Devil Dog Gaming and the devil's in the details. Yeah, man.
Nate! Discord here. I don't know where you are, but I'm in Los Angeles, and I think you can see it in the background. On a beautiful day. So when are we all going to get back together again? Who's to say? The devil is in the details. The devil is in the details. Yes, the devil is in the details. Wouldn't you say?
Hello everybody, it's me, Nate, aka Devil Dog, and I'm back with another game review. This time I'm reviewing Mafia Trilogy. It was developed by Hangar 13 and published by 2K Games and was released on May 19th of 2020 on the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. It is a re-release of all three games in the Mafia series. Well, kind of, sort of. This is kind of going to get a little bit confusing, but I will make perfect sense with it. Part 2 you receive is a remaster, and Part 3 is basically just with all the DLC. But what about Part 1? Oh, Part 1, aka City of Lost Haven, is currently still being made. Yeah, it's being rebuilt from the ground up and won't be out until August 28th of 2020. And it's going to have an updated script, new engine, and new features and gameplay sequences. Yeah, so it's Mafia Trilogy with technically one remaster, one game that just has the DLC with it, and one game that's not even done being made yet. I wish I was making this up, but I'm actually not. Now, when you purchase the Mafia Trilogy, you will receive Part 2 and Part 3, and in the future, on August 28th, when they release it, you will also get Part 1. The way they're doing this kind of reminds me of a Star Wars series. I don't understand it. Now, Part 2 and 3 are considered remasters that have been bumped to 4K, but once again, this is more detail that I need to point out. Part 2 has redone textures, the CGI has been re-rendered, and it now runs on an updated game engine. Plus you get all the DLC that the game came with. Part 3 is just Part 3 with the DLC. So I don't know why they call it the Definitive Edition, because that's another thing too about this. You can buy these games separate. And, basically they're $25 each for Part 2 and Part 3. And when Part 1 comes out, it's going to be $35 for it. So if you really think about that, that's like $85 for all three of them. Or you can just buy them now for $59.95 and get Mafia 1, 2, and 3. And for right now, only get Mafia 2 and Mafia 3. Now, I will admit, the amount of DLC they have for Part 2 and 3 is actually quite substantial, especially Part 3. It's like, 12 different DLCs or something like that? That also includes the vehicle packs and the gun packs and the clothing packs and basically everything. Now, one thing I'll have to say that I think is kind of cool, even though the way they're doing this is stupid. Why call it Mafia Trilogy when you're not getting all three games? You're getting Mafia 2 and 3 with Mafia 1 coming out later because for whatever reason they decided to rebuild Mafia 1 from the ground up to make it better, which I understand, but other than doing redone textures and changing over the game engine in Part 2, they didn't like rebuild it from the ground up. They just kind of, honestly remastered it. Now, one neat thing is if you own Mafia 2 or 3, and you have the DLC for it, I'm not sure if you have to have all the DLC for it or not, but if you own these games, you're supposed to receive the definitive editions absolutely free as an update, which I can't check to see if that's true or not, but it sounds pretty cool. So if you actually own Mafia 2 or Mafia 3, theoretically you should get like all the DLC and everything for free, which sounds cool, but it doesn't make a damn bit of sense. And let's be honest, I mean, I understand for part 2, if you bought the DLC, that it would upgrade the game to higher textures and a better engine. But if you have everything for part 3, then what's it going to do? Just change the damn name to Mafia 3 Definitive Edition? That's not really definitive. That's just, Mafia 3, thank you for your money. That's what that is. Now, like I said, when they finally do come out with Mafia 1, City of Lost Haven, the rebuild version, on August 28th, if you bought this Mafia Trilogy, you'll pretty much get the game and it'll download and install, and you'll be able to play it. But until then, you can just play Mafia 2 and Mafia 3. I really don't know what to say about this. I do think that Mafia 2 is a really, really good game. I've never played Mafia 1, so when this does actually come out, I will do a full-fledged review on just Mafia 1, the remake, just to see how good it is, because I'm interested to see what it would be like compared to the original version. Now, Mafia 3, hands down, even though it looks the best, I think it's one of the worst games in the series, just for the sheer poor level design in terms of the repetitiveness of all the mission structures, of it just being rinse and repeat every 2 seconds for the whole game. Now, I never played the DLC, so I've been told a lot of the DLC expands on a lot of stuff and opens up some nice new different gameplay elements, which I think is great, and that's really good. It's just a shame that the original game itself wasn't that good. I mean, the game itself was good. It's just, like I said, the way the structure of it was built, it was just too repetitive. And, honestly, Mafia 2, I really loved when I played it. It reminded me of playing like a version of Godfather / Goodfellas, which is exactly what it was supposed to be in the first place. But I do find this a little bit odd, that the only way to get it at a quote discount is to buy it as the Mafia Trilogy, and that's when you receive all 3 games for $60. But if you were just to decide to go and buy them separate, it's going to be $25 for the Part 2 and Part 3, and $35 for Part 1. And that's just really, really weird. I find that to be very weird, especially considering they actually say that you'll get the definitive upgrade editions for free if you already own the original games. I guess the best offer, the best deal for this is if you happen to own Part 2 and Part 3 and you're able to get the definitive upgrade for free and just buy Mafia 1 when they come out with it for $35. I guess that would be the best option. But if you're someone like me who doesn't have the Mafia 2 and 3, I mean, I still have 3, but I don't think it updated to no damn definitive edition. But it's kind of interesting nonetheless. I can actually say, honestly, if you are a fan of Mafia 2 and 3, and, I can't really say 1 because you're not getting it yet. Eventually you'll get it. But if you're a fan of these games and you don't own them, I still say wait. I think the price is way too damn high for what you're getting. I mean, after all, if they had went back and did something new with Mafia 3, other than just giving you the DLC, I might say okay to this. But personally, I think they're charging way too much for each of these games. I understand the $35 for Mafia 1 because it's basically they're building a whole new game from scratch with that one, and I'm okay with that. But the $25 for the other two games, now Mafia 2, they do seem to do enough to it to where I can say maybe that warrants the $25, but it certainly doesn't warrant $25 for Mafia 3, even though it's with all the DLC. In the end, if you're a huge fan of these games, I would say just wait until this goes on sale. When it finally comes out as the actual trilogy and you can get all three parts together, maybe they'll have a discounted price then, and then I could recommend it. But even though they're pretty good games, Mafia 2 is great, Mafia 3 is decent. I would say, unless you're a real big diehard fan of this trilogy, I would definitely say just wait until they come out with it, with all three games at a discount. It's not worth the price at the current point. But other than that, I mean, if you play these games, there's nothing really new about them. Just some good gangster shooting fun and a lot of repetitiveness in the third one. But in the end, like I said, I can't recommend it at this current price point. Make sure to leave a comment below of what you think about the Mafia Trilogy. If you already own these games, well, Part 2 and Part 3 that is, or if you plan on buying the Mafia Trilogy, let me know in the comments. Make sure to hit the bell icon to stay updated whenever I release any new videos. Make sure to hit that like button. It helps my channel out a lot. And remember, I always end my videos by saying, have fun, play hard, and remember, people, Part 1's not coming out until August 28th. Peace out.